Okay, so in the last lesson, we actually learned how to interact with the mBot for the first time, and we learned how to tell it to use its LED lights and how to use them in an alternate way. So one it turns on and the other one turns off, and so on and so on. So for this other program, this new program, it's called Jazzy Bot. We're going to use another component of the mBot, which is the built-in speaker of the mBot. So, this lesson, you're going to test a little bit of your musical ability on top of learning a little bit of robotics and programming, because the objective of this lesson is to learn how to use the built-in speaker of the mbot to show it how to play the lick. If you don't know what the lick is, you can find this video on YouTube. The lick, it's a very famous phrase in jazz that it's used by many musicians, and it's known because it sounds like this. So, if you want, you can watch the whole video. It's honestly very interesting to see how many musicians use it. But we're going to teach the mbot how to do it because he wants to play jazz as well. Okay, so for this one, if you don't have to worry if you don't know how to play music, but basically this is the phrase that we're going to be playing. This is a D, E, F, G, then goes back to E, then to C, and finally it finishes in D, which is hold a little longer thanks to this note. But don't worry if you don't know how to play this. What you need to worry about though, it's how to tell the mbot what notes it has to play. If you don't know a little bit of physics as well, notes are defined basically by the frequency at which the air vibrates when those notes are played. So we're going to use that to tell the mbot uh, what note he has to play. So if you have the book that most of the lessons are based on, that one includes a table that tells you a lot of notes. But for this program, these are all the notes that you need to know, and this includes their frequency, which is 262, 294, 330, 349, and 392. So this is all you need to know. And using these five notes, we're going to show the mbot how to play the lick. Okay, so now let's get started with the coding. You're going to open your interface as well in the Arduino mode, like we are. And if you remember from last lesson, the first block we have to use, it's this one here that says mbot program. You're going to put it right here, and that it's going to tell you what to play. So now we're going to use something else. We're going to use these two blocks for the first time, which are called make a variable and make a block. First of all, let me show you what make a variable looks like. If you click here, it allows you to give this variable a name. In this case, we're going to use 5 variables, which are these ones, the names of the notes that we're going to use. So it goes from C4 to G4. So if we're going to make 5 variables, if we're going to use 5 notes, we need 5 variables. So you're going to write here note C4. And hold on, I like it like something like that. C4. Okay, and you can do it for all sprites, doesn't matter. Right now, note. Okay, and as you can see now, it gives you all these other blocks. Right now, you don't have to worry about all of them. We're going to talk about them as we use them. But for now, let's make the rest of the variables note D4. That should be that. Another one, note E4. That's good. Note F4. Lastly, note G4. You're going to press OK. All right. So now these variables, if you've never used variables in a programming language, variables, it's basically a placeholder. In some languages, you have to specify what kind of information a variable can hold. But in this case, they're pretty easygoing on that. You don't actually have to specify exactly what kind of data you're using. And by what kind of data, I mean some languages, for example, divide their type of data in some different kind of data. You have like integers, you have your floating points, which are basically decimals. You can have strings, which are characters connected. You have objects that you can define its properties. You have arrays, which is a type of object. You have many things, but in this case, let's not get too involved into that. But it's good for you to know if you ever want to keep going on your programming language, which is very interesting, by the way. But for now, you need to know it's that this thing can hold information. In this case, it's going to hold the frequency of the note. So now what we're going to do is use this block that says set, drag it here, paste it. Let's do the first one because I like doing it in order. You're going to choose node C4. I'm going to include this on the page, but you can also follow it on the video. It says that C4, the air vibrates at 262. So let's do that, 262. By the way, that's in hertz. Right, let's do it for all of them. C4, D4, if we look at the table, 294. So 294. And if you want to use the same thing I showed you last time, you can use duplicate and copy those two, D4, E4, and F4, and then just change the values, which is 330 and 349. So 330, 349. Okay, and one more, which is our last one. Let me drag this a little over here. And G4, it's at 392. So 392. Okay, now you have these. All right, so what we could do now to play those notes, we could go here where it says robots, and we could find this one right here that says play tone on note. And as you can see, this would have been easier. It actually gives you all the notes that you have. But we're not doing that in this case for two reasons. One, it's that I want to show you how to make your own block because this example allows us to show you how to do it in a simple way, in a simple example, and so it's not too complicated in the future when we do it. So you're going to go to the section that says data and blocks, and you're going to click this button that says make a block. You're going to name it play. Not play, but play. All right, and then in this case, you're going to choose here that says add number input. There you go. All right, and let's name this one something else. Let's name it note. All right, this is your custom block. If you were doing another language, if for example you want to work on with the mBot using Python, it's another language that's compatible with the mBot, and it's a little closer to what every other language is. This would be a function, but this function doesn't do anything unless it's called. So for example, right now it doesn't do anything at all because it doesn't have anything underneath, but let's do this. Let's use this that we said before that says play tone on note something. And as you can see, this value right here, you can also drag. That is because when you make your own block accepts something that are called parameters. Basically what a function and what making your own block does, it allows you to create a block of code that performs certain action, and if you're going to perform that action multiple times, you don't have to rewrite that code, the whole code over and over again. So in this case, it's a little bit hard to see because your custom block just does this, and this might be as easier as doing that multiple times and then, for example, duplicating and putting it multiple times. But let's imagine that your custom block doesn't have just one line. It has multiple lines of code. Let's say you write a code that calculates the area of a square. And if you wanted to calculate the area of a square one time, you could write it here. But what if you wanted to calculate it, for example, 4 times? You could write it in your own custom block and just call your custom block 4 times and sending all the parameters that you wanted to use. Your own custom block is going to take your parameters that you send it, and it's going to run its code that it's underneath it, and it can give you back a value maybe. But in this case, all it's going to do is play that tone, and it takes a note, for example. So we're going to drag this and actually put it here. And we don't want it for half. This is more music related, but we only want it for a quarter. So quarter, there you go. So now, all you have to do to run this code in your main program is drag in here and paste it right below. And we don't want to send a 1 as a note. We want to send D4 because if you remember, that's where melody begins. Okay, so now you're going to duplicate this, and the next one, it's this one, DE. So 4, sorry D, you'll be deleted. Play. A, B, C, D, E, F. Again. Now G4. Okay. And in this part, we're going to cheat a little bit because in this part of the melody, we're going to actually use this block right here. Only because this changes. So let's do, for example, half and E4. There you go. And then lastly, to finish our melody, let's do two more play blocks and use note C4 and note D4. All right, and now our program's finished. Okay, so now, as I told you, let's do all the process to connect your mBot. First of all, turn your mBot on before you use it. You plug it to your computer because if you don't, it might restart your computer. It's not always the case, but it might. It's better not risking it. Now you connect it. It makes that sound. You press here, connect serial port, COM12. Now it says here, serial port connected, and as you can see, this appears. And now all you have to do is basically press upload to Arduino.
Okay, so if you already uploaded your program to your mBot, um, you probably already experienced the testing portion of this lesson because the mBot actually runs the program once it's uploaded to the mBot. Yeah, it plays the melody first thing. And actually, if you turn your mBot off and then on, like I'm going to show you, it plays the tone again. So yeah, if it works, yay. If it doesn't, make sure you watch the video again. Make sure you follow every step. And if you still have problem, I'm going to leave a picture of the final code and what it should look like. And if you still have a problem, I'm going to leave the program at the bottom of the link on the YouTube video and also as well on the lesson webpage. So I'll see you next lesson.